Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And welcome back to week 4 of Home Track Heroes on CW11. My name is Kyler Hope. Alongside of me, Matt Richard.
And tonight we got something a little bit different. We got some drifting tonight. Both of our first rounds for both of our grassroots and of our Pro-Am competitions. Our Pro-Am is sponsored by Bardal. And yeah, we're looking forward to a lot of great driving up ahead tonight.
Yeah, so the past 3 weeks we've seen a lot of more of the traditional style racing, more NASCAR style racing. But we're not going to see any flags flying tonight. It's a lot different. What should the viewers have to expect with drifting coming up tonight?
Yeah, drifting, unlike any other motorsport, it's a judged motorsport. So with our first round of competition, we're going to have our grassroots drivers. And again, our judged motorsport, we have 3 judges up in the tower. And basically, you're going to be critiquing exactly what our drivers are doing on track. It's kind of like a ballet, a dance with our cars on track. So we have if you've never seen drifting before, it's completely unlike any other motorsport. 2 cars out on track. They go out a paired run, and the idea is one car is supposed to follow the other car as closely as possible. Now, it's not a race to the finish. It's all about a style competition. So we'll be talking to our judges here in a little bit, and they'll kind of break things down a little bit more detailed. But basically, it's a battle of the style between cars. One car will make a lead run, followed by a chase run. The cars will then switch positions. They'll make another run. Afterwards, the judges will decide who was the more, better overall performing driver. And a couple of things will determine that: speed, style, and a couple of other factors. Like I said, we'll talk to our judges here in a little bit. They'll better break down exactly what they're looking for. But long story short, better looking, better performing driver will advance on to the next round. It's a bracketed competition. We work our way all the way through, and after that, we finally find a winner at the end of the night and crown them the champion of the evening. So we have a lot of drivers we're going to be working with today. I believe in our grassroots, we have about 49 drivers we have to whittle our way down through. Tonight we're going to see about top 16 of those, and then in our Pro-Am competition we had a total of 37 drivers, and we'll see the top 32 of those 37 drivers.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Angry Earl, and we are here at Evergreen Drift. Today we are going to be checking out the Pro 2 as well as a grassroots competition. And I am here with Eddie Hughes. He has his 1993 Nissan 240 SX. He's going to be competing today in the grassroots program. Eddie, how you doing, man?
Doing awesome. How's it going, Earl?
Good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. How's the car running? How do you feel? You excited?
The car's doing amazing right now. Just did practice for about an hour, and it's ripping. I'm blowing the PSI in the rear so I can get some grip. Trying to stay competitive with my low car.
Heck yeah, reliability is definitely a good component to have here.
Yes.
How much power are you making?
I'm making 345 wheel horsepower with a 4-cylinder.
That's solid. But yeah, man, good luck today, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, everybody, we are here at Evergreen Drift. Again, I am Angry Earl, and we are going to be covering the Evergreen Drift Pro-Am and grassroots competition today. Right here now, we have one of our Pro-Am competitors. His name is John Kim. And where are you from, John?
I'm from Hawaii originally, but I live in Everett at the moment.
Cool, awesome. And this is going to be your first year doing Pro-Am, correct?
Yeah, first year in Pro-Am.
Okay, you excited?
I'm pumped. I got a great team. These guys have been working super hard for us, and I'm just ready to compete.
Awesome. You have a 95 S14. What do we have here today?
Pretty close. 97 S14 240 with a Corvette motor stuck in there. So
Turbo or NA?
NA for now,
okay.
But there will be a supercharger before round 3 this year.
Cool.
So.
Glad that you're here today, and wish you the best of luck, and we'll catch you later, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
We are here with Rudy Hansen, and you might have noticed him from the Lone Star Drift Series as well as Drift Week. How you doing today, dude?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Rudy's going to be competing in the Pro-Am series today. You excited? How's the car running? And are there?
Working good. We just went to Medford last weekend and worked great all weekend, so we're ready to shred.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about your setup. How much power are you making? And what are your strategies for today?
Strategies. So it makes like a four wheel. It's got a dog box in it. Z32 rear end, twin turbo axles underneath of it, Weiss Fab, LS1 out of Camaro.
Awesome. Well, car looks good, and we're glad you're here, dude, and wish you the best of luck today. All right, guys, we are here with Spencer Casey, and he is actually the winner of last year's Grassroots Series. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, good, good. The car looks sick. I know you've been busy behind the wheel and doing a lot of different events. How's the car running, and how you feeling today?
Car's running really good. Gets hot per usual, but other than that, it feels really good. Track's good, tires are good, so I'm ready.
Awesome. And you're competing in the Pro-Am today or the Grassroots?
Nope, only driving Grassroots today. I'm going to get my feet wet later this year in Pro-Am, but just kind of wanted to come out today and drive with my friends.
And so since you're one of the seated drivers and you've been through the series for a while, you came up through the Grassroots ranks. How does it feel being the top dog in the series, and what advice can you give to the lower guys, if any, if you want to give them?
So today, I opted out of Seed 1 to go to 51st to just get some time with my buddies. But as far as advice goes, drive a lot. That's all you can do. Stop overbuilding your cars. Stop spending money. Just drive. It's all you got to do.
All right, guys, we're back here with Lucas Dorado. He's actually one of the judges we have today for our Evergreen Drift Pro-Am and Grassroots events. Lucas, how you doing today, man?
Feeling great. It's a nice day out. Excited to be out here.
And you're one of 3 judges, and for those that are new to drifting, it is a judged event, so there are different parameters that drivers are going to be judged today. Can you explain to us a little bit of what you guys are looking for today, please?
So we are looking a lot into fairness today and trying to get the guys to have good runs, to be consistent and tight to each other to make it exciting. They're going to start over on that cone, and from then on, they have to be drifting the entirety of the course. They will go into the power alley here, follow this white line closest to us, and then shoot out into that first outer zone directly behind me there, sorry. And then they'll continue around this circle here, and then hit this nose clip here with the front edge of their car. Start to set up on the power alley again, going the opposite way. Get as close as they can to this line, shoot out to that outer zone, and then continue around the light pole and go to that second inner clip over there.
Awesome, awesome. We have a pretty stacked card today. Are there any specific drivers that you're looking at, as well as how much proximity is going to come into play in today's event?
So what we try to do is we pair them up by their skill level, and as they progress through competition, they'll get harder and harder battles. And then once that happens, then we really start to scrutinize the points and how they're going about their drifting and how close they are and how well they're following our rules while also mimicking the car that's in front of them.
Awesome, awesome. So we can't wait for the heats to start, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
So Chris Yule, he's actually one of our other judges today, and he's going to explain to us what they're going to be looking for as far as judging, because there's going to be slightly different judging parameters between Grassroots and Pro-Am. Is that right, Chris?
Correct. You know, and to first start off, we're going to be running a completely different course with the whole 3/8 bank, so they're going to be much faster, but similar zones and clips as Grassroots. A slightly different ending at the wall, which will be exciting.
And then, so for the Grassroots side, you guys are going to be looking more towards proximity and battle. With the Pro-Am size, it looks like you're looking for more specific stuff in people's driving today, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely more technical. We're more specific. We want more from them, especially with the zones and clips. We want them to be more precise.
And what are you guys looking for exactly? Speed, angle, line?
So line, angle, and style.
Are there any specific things that the drivers can do and you can tell them to score higher and place farther up in today's comps?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest scoring zones is going to be the bank. And we want them to be high and fluid on the bank and not come off the bank early.
Cool. And then as far as proximity to each other, closer is the better, or does that take precedent over line?
Closer is definitely better, but I would rather you see a longer duration of being close as opposed to surging in and out.
That's going to make for some super exciting driving for today, and I can't wait to see what these guys put on, kind of show these guys put on for us.
Thanks, Earl. And we'll have Angry Earl down on the sidelines for us all afternoon, kind of giving us a new perspective on drivers right as they get done with the run. And one unique thing that everyone at home will see is a lot of the cars are different. We're used to the classes kind of all being shaped to the car style, but in drift, they're all different sorts of cars.
Yeah, that's one of the most unique things about drifting. One of my favorite aspects about drifting, you see a lot of drivers' personality go into the car. And, you know, some of these are street-driven cars, some daily drivers. You know, these kids are bringing these cars out and then having to drive them home. So, you know, there's a risk factor there for a lot of these drivers. They're coming out here, they're throwing their cars sideways at 60 miles an hour, banging doors, but, you know, they have to drive or limp their cars home in some conditions. So we're going to see a variety of cars here, everything from, you know, imports to domestics, you know, the classic 240 SX, some newer 350Zs, to your domestic Mustangs and Corvettes. So it's a really unique show, and, you know, the cars are a very small factor, but they play a big role as well. So looking forward to our first battle here coming up. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our first two drivers?
Yeah, it looks like we got Donnie Stebbins and Jonathan Enfield lining up here shortly, and we had 49 grassroots drivers. We're kind of fast forwarding through the program and getting down to the top 16 that we'll bring to you guys right here. It looks like we have the cars lining up.
All right, here we go. The first of our top 16 battle in grassroots. Donnie Stebbins is going to be setting the pace with our Corvette, Jonathan Enfield. Let's see how they play. So, car out in front, the 240 SX, setting the pace. And the Corvette doing a decent job trying to close that gap. Donnie Stebbins, solid line out in front. And good job on those big barrels. Those are our clipping zones. Those are where the drivers are aiming for. But great job by the Corvette closing that gap and keeping a consistent gap as they finish off our car layout. Solid run for the first half of our battle. Now a driver switching positions. The Corvette, Jonathan Enfield out front. Donnie Stebbins giving chase. Let's see how they do. Now the Corvette did a decent job at his chase, but I see a little bit more of a gap established here between him and the 240 SX. That's, again, Donnie Stebbins. A little bit more of a gap established, but both drivers kind of holding their own, doing a pretty decent job on the line here. Another tight run through that final clipping zone as they wrap around the final inside clip and finish strong.
Yeah, I think Enfield had a really good follow or chase run, and I think that's going to give him the edge. As we're actually getting word from the judges right now, it's going to be Enfield moving on, taking down Stebbins, the 1 seed. And here we go. The second run's going to be Brian Sturman and Teddy Andrika.
Right, Sturman going up against Andrika, again, BMW versus another 240 SX. Wow, huge gap established already as that E30 quick off the line. Let's see if Andrika here can close the gap at all. I really want to see the drivers close together as they work their way through the track. At this point, just two kind of solo runs, but both drivers holding their own. Nice on that zone. Good angle as he comes around the last part of the track, and a strong finish for both drivers. Decent run. I'm not sure if there's any advantage other than just that large gap we saw between the two. Now drivers are going to switch positions, and we're going to put Teddy Andrika out in front and that 240 SX. Let's see if he can get away from what seemed a faster Brian Sturman. And again, another gap we're seeing here. Again, we want to see drivers nice and close. That's the criteria of the judges. As a wide line here, you can see him taking that large outside line. Bit of a gap there from the barrels, which makes an opportunity for Brian Sturman to close that gap. Now as they work their way around the last two clipping points, you can see, falling offline, Teddy Andrika gives the win here, going to Earl.
Cool. So we're here with Brian Sturman. He is advancing through the top 8. How you doing, Brian? How's the car handling, and how excited are you?
I'm doing good, feeling good. Car's running good, man. We're good to go.
Were you worried at any point with that battle with that guy?
I got a little worried near the end that he might have spun. His line got kind of messed up, but it seemed we held it through. We're doing all right.
Awesome, man. Great job, and hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Appreciate it.
Round number 3, we have Devin Vandervate and Julio Losh rolling out our 4 and 13 seed.
All right, so Devin Vandervate going to be taking the lead on the first half. Two S13 Silvias going to battle here. Julio Losh and that banana yellow S13. Devin, here they go, working their way around the track, doing a decent job. Want to see that gap a little bit closer, but both drivers looking solid so far. A little bit of a gap again between the zones as they work their way here through. Julio, you can see him starting to close that gap on the latter half of the track. Let's see how Devin Vandervate does on his chase run. here in the chase position this time. Julio Losh out front. Let's see if he gets aggressive with it. Quick flick of the wheel, and he's into it, making his way down through the power alley. Nice on that zone, Devin. Let's see if he can close the gap the same way he did, but looks pretty steady so far. Going to our drone footage real quick, as we can see them working their way down through the power alley. And I'd say he's got even more of a gap this time than he did when Julio was in the chase position. So gonna go to Earl. Let's see who the winner is.
We are here with Julio Losh. He's progressing to the top 8. How stoked are you, man? How's the car feeling, and how excited are you?
I don't know. I think my turbo's falling off even more now, but we're doing good. I don't know, having a good time.
Jumping up to our 4th battle now, we got Jade Bateman and Eric Welsh, our 5 and 12 seed, rolling out.
These cars could not be any more dynamically different. A Toyota Corolla and a Corvette. So David versus Goliath here. As a Corvette just chasing him down. No issue keeping up. Closing that gap here on the latter part of the track, which we've been seeing with the majority of our grassroots drivers, but doing a decent job out front. Again, Eric Welch, Jade Bateman. Solid run, man. Both these guys holding it down. That pink Corolla, all sorts of styled out, but the Corvette, he's been making a lot of moves this season as well. A lot of practice and a lot of advancement in this driver, so looking forward to seeing where he takes it. And just a rocket ship off the line here, the Corvette, tons of aggressive style right off the bat as he, I mean, like I mentioned before, just huge power difference between these two, so you can see the Corvette just trying to whittle his way away from the Toyota Corolla, doing everything he can to close that gap. Sacrificing angle. He does a decent job at closing that gap, but I think it's going to be too little too late, though. We'll go to Earl back on the pit lane to figure out who's going to advance to our top 8.
All right, we're here with Eric Welsh again. He is progressing up the rankings. How's the car running, and are you up for the challenge of the more advanced drivers up here?
Oh, of course. We're doing Pro-Am later, too, in this car as well. I can't wait. We got so many good drivers. Gabe here is a shredder. That car is so fast.
Welch obviously very excited after his round win as we move on to Jonathan DeLuey and Alex Cuervo.
Really odd kind of car here. A Ford Merkur, I think is what it is, going up against the E36 of Alex Cuervo. And again, we're seeing that grassroots gap established between these two, but let's see if they can close it as, going off track. They're a couple, at least 3 tires off on the inside. It is criteria for the drivers to stay inside the track, so that could be a big deduction. Also taking out a line of barrels there. So judges want to see nice, clean driving by both the drivers as, Alex Cuervo just kind of hanging back, doing his own thing in the chase position. Let's see how he does out front, setting the pace for the Ford Merkur there out front. So let's see what they can put together. John DeLuey going to be in chase this time. Alex Cuervo, the white car going up against the E36 as we get our drone footage back. As a nice and tight setup on that infield transition. Jonathan DeLuey going to be closing. Alex Cuervo on a much wider line. Going to be a little bit farther away from that inside clip, which sets him up for the infield here. Almost taking out more barrels, but Alex Cuervo working his way through the final portion of the track. John DeLuey hanging tight, but could be too little too late after going a couple tires off track. Earl?
One more time.
And they're saying one more time for them. So our first one more time. And Matt, you want to kind of explain what happens when it's one more time? The judges couldn't quite make the decision.
Yeah, that's basically it. Judges couldn't come to a decision, so they wiped the board clean, and we start over again. So John DeLuey going to be leading the first half of the battle again, and much better improvement so far. He's staying on track, hitting those zones a lot tighter. Let's see if he can hit the barrels again. And he does, so a little bit of a deduction there. Again, you don't want to hit the barrels, you want to graze the barrels. But other than that, much better run improvement from both drivers. Alex Cuervo staying much closer, and John DeLuey staying much cleaner. We're going to switch drivers up again. All right, again, this has been a one more time battle. Let's see if we can get a winner from these two. Alex Cuervo going to be setting the pace this time. John DeLuey in that Ford Merkur initiating into the infield. Just trying to stretch it out. Much better job. You can see him trying to close that gap and keep it nice and tight, just what the judges want to see. Alex looking much better, not going as wide this time. Keeping it right here on the infield transition. Nice through that zone. It's both drivers making improvements on both runs. Solid as John DeLully though spinning out on that final inside clip and taking a loop.
All right, Alex Cuervo over here, progressing up the rankings. We're going to the top 8. Are you worried about any of the specific drivers over here, or you're doing great, man?
Just having a fun time. That's what we're out for. So we're gonna go enjoy it, but I need some tires.
How's the car feeling? Is it staying cool?
Oh yeah, it's staying great. Everything's fine. So ready to go.
Thanks, Earl. As that was our first taste of a few rounds of grassroots racing, tons of excitement out there. Overall, I mean, first little segment. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, we're only getting started. Again, we've worked our way down from 49 drivers. As we work our way down to the top 8, final 4, it's only going to get better from here. So, you know, as we work our way down through, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these drivers can put together here at round 1 of our grassroots competition.
And then later on, we'll step up to the Pro-Am as we'll be right back on CW11 Hometown Heroes.